Hi there, and welcome to Leadershipisation, all things leadership. I'm Beth Bergen. I'm a global leadership and communication coach, and I work with executives, people managers, business owners, and often I also get to work with their teams as well. So I'm here on this platform live most Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Now, usually I'm live. However, this week we're pre-recording. And the reason that we're pre-recording is this. Coaches need coaches. So I'm going to be off spending 3 days next week in an intimate workshop with one of my coaches, where the focus will be on those business processes and providing high quality, really accessible options for you and others like you so that you can work with me. I thought I'd share that with you so that you understand that coaching is an ongoing journey. It's not something that stops just because you get into a position where you think, oh, I'm coaching others. I don't need to be coached myself. I actually do, and I have a number of coaches that I plug into on a very regular basis. So over the past couple of weeks, I've been doing lots of reading and lots of reflecting on the past leadershipizations that I've done and leadership intelligence, which is what I talk about with you constantly and consistently. Because all of these things that we're covering in leadershipization are tools, strategies, tips that are essential in your leadership intelligence toolbox. You know, we talk about leadership and communication. We've talked about developing awareness of these skills and implementing them. And what I wanted to do was to share with you a quick overview, which I've gained from various sources of information, but a quick overview of how you might future-proof your career. And these are skills that you actually can't afford to ignore. And these are the kinds of things that people from all over the world are talking about that are going to be the skills that are needed over the next 3 to 5 years. Times are changing really rapidly. There's a huge growth in AI, and you're going to need new skills to be able to manage those and to be able to ride that wave of change. One of the places that I get my information from and that I read regularly is from Forbes magazine, especially in this information that we're looking at today. The bulk of that came from the Forbes Human Resources Council, which is an invite-only group which has HR executives in it. And obviously what I've done is put my spin on it as well. So what we know is that terminology is evolving, technology is evolving, and our employees, and as an employee ourselves, we need different and new skills, because to stay competitive, you must invest in upskilling and in reskilling. And the company also must look at doing that, upskilling and reskilling their employees. Now, what do I mean by upskilling? Upskilling is where you expand an existing skill set to enhance them. So you're expanding your existing skill set. That's what upskilling is, building on the skills that you already have. Reskilling is about learning new skills so that you can do a different job. So what we're talking about here is both of those. There's a possibility that for some of you who are listening, this will mean reskilling. For others, it will mean upskilling. So what are these skills that I believe is that it's essential that you have? These are in no particular order. The first one is adaptability. Now, this is all about that ongoing learning, that personal growth. There's a real willingness or a real need for you to be thinking about collaboration with other people. It's all about being prepared to take some risks and to actually experiment. And your goal here for yourself and for your team is to be able to maintain that engagement, to be able to maintain that motivation so that people stay engaged with the work that you're giving them. The second one is data interpretation and communication. Now, what do I mean by that? All over the world, there is lots and lots and lots of data being collected. The ability to interpret that so that you can inform decision making is a really important skill to develop. And this might be one that you reskill or you upskill. And there's much more involved here than having a mere insight into it. You know, it's lots more about you being able to speak to it using the right narrative. So there's a set of skills that you could develop for that data interpretation and communication. The third one is AI literacy. This is all about learning, trialing, and exploring, and thinking about how you can integrate AI into various roles in your organization. You probably need to be right now, you should be right now upskilling yourself and your team so that you're not actually left behind, and really importantly, so that neither you or your team are feeling really fearful about what AI might bring. There are so many AI tools that are out there for so many different things. The critical thing for you to remember in upskilling yourself is that all of those tools actually need human beings to make them work. So, you know, it's about looking at how AI can be integrated. Number 4, creativity. Creativity is an essential skill for you, particularly how it relates to your industry. So it's not, you know, often when we think about creativity, it's about the weird musician or the artist over there or the marketing person who comes up with all these creative ideas. What we're looking at here is how it applies to your industry. So this is all about being able to adapt, being able to pivot, anticipating and leading change, agility, reinvention, and being able to respond to whatever is happening in your industry, to your market really quickly. That's what I mean by creativity as it applies to your industry. Next one, learning how to learn. Learning how to learn. And really importantly, and how to unlearn. We need to be able to upskill or reskill. And at the same time as we're doing that, we must let go of some of those, this is how it's done around here mentality. So learning how to learn and unlearn is about adapting really quickly, getting new knowledge and using that to respond to the needs that are going on in the business or in your team. And then really being able to apply that effectively. And as I said before, letting go of that, this is how I've always done it, or this is how it's done around here mentality. Number 6, deep curiosity. Now, what you're doing is using AI, it's all about asking the right questions. So it's all about looking at that automation and those data and I'll start again. It's all about looking at automation and data analytics. There's new tools, there might be new workflows, there might be new software, and all of these things. It comes down to asking those right questions. If you're using AI, the prompts that you use make all the difference. You're going to learn, you're going to adapt, and you're going to work in a curious way, asking really good questions. You're going to learn how to work with the new and with the emerging technologies. All of this, your deep curiosity, will be exactly what drives the innovation, what helps you to solve problems, and what informs that critical thinking. As I said before, AI is really awesome. However, it needs human beings. And the deeper your curiosity is, the more likely you're going to be able to create an outcome using a really valuable outcome using the tool that AI is for you. Number 7, resilience. I love this word. It's something that we haven't really focused on in leadershipization, and it's something that for our younger generations, many have seen that it's missing a little bit. They haven't built that resilience because we've made life kind of much easier for them, even though it seems complex. So this is all about you building skills, building those skills so that you can adapt to rapid and complex change. So what kind of skills sit under this resilience? It's things like problem-solving skills. It's seeing challenges as an opportunity to grow. It's learning from your mistakes. It's that self-care. It's being able to bounce back up again when things aren't going well. It's building relationships. It's kind of managing that negativity, and it's all about embracing change. That's where the resilience needs to come from, because the change is going to keep on happening. It's not going to stop. Number 8, build and maintain soft skills. These are the human skills. These are the things that can never actually be taken away from us by machines or artificial intelligence. This is the teamwork, the communication, that critical thinking, the problem solving, the adaptability that we've already talked about. This is about the creativity and the leadership that you bring to your role. It's about you managing your time effectively. It's those interpersonal skills. And it's those gorgeous character traits that make you unique. It's those things that allow you to work really effectively and to interact in a harmonious way with other people. Those soft skills are going to be essential moving forward, because that's where the human interaction comes from. That's where the heart comes from, which is so important. Okay, number 9, change management. Change is constant. We've already talked about it a little earlier. And this is all about managing how you individually and also those that you lead respond to change. So if you're an awesome leader, they're going to take their response from whatever your response is. So it's about learning how to manage not the change. The change is going to keep happening. It's learning how you actually respond to it, managing how you and your team respond to that change. Next one, number 10, critical thinking skills. Again, we've referred to these a little earlier. So what you'll be starting to see is that these are habits that are almost going to be stacking on top of each other. These are tools that we can stack into your leadership intelligence toolbox so that they're building on each other the entire time. So what are our critical thinking skills? Well, it's all about being able to analyze, to interpret, to evaluate things. It's about applying a logical focus. It's about, understanding what the biases are in the information that you might be looking at. It's about being prepared to do research. It's a willingness to consider a different perspective. And it's all about you being able to make well-reasoned judgments. Now, to do this, you've obviously got to have an open mind, and you also need to have a real focus on what it is that you're doing. Number 11. I hope I've got the numbering right. I'm pretty sure I've got the numbering right. Number 11, adding value to machines. Adding value to machines. In terms of AI, it's about, the AI will review and develop a summary for you. It'll do that easily. Ask it the right prompts. Even if you ask really poor prompts, it will do that. The human being is the person who's going to analyze that summary and who's going to draw conclusions from that, because they're the person who's got the deeper understanding of the individual client and what their specific needs are. It's important that you see AI as a tool for you and that you walk beside it, not in fear that it's going to take your job away. So obviously, the next one that comes up is number 12, and this is technical know-how. It's really easy for us to just go, oh, I'll leave the tech stuff up to someone else. Oh, I'm good. I don't need to worry about this. But it doesn't necessarily have to be really in-depth technical stuff, but you need to be prepared to remain up to date, to grow your skills so that you're using new tools, and also to stay relevant so that you're not using something that was used, that went out of date or out of fashion years ago. Now, a really good example of this is that Microsoft is just about to take Skype out of the market at the beginning of May. Skype was it was there, and it was the front runner in that video communication. And then Zoom and other platforms came along. And now Microsoft wants to stop Skype and shift everybody across to their Teams product. So what's important is that you're remaining up to date with that you're learning and growing about how to use that new tool, that new technology, and that you're staying relevant. So you're not kind of going, hey, I can't use my Skype anymore. What do I do here? Yep. Number 13, communication, particularly face-to-face skills. Now, we've lost a lot of this because people have been working from home, or they haven't necessarily been working together as a team. So this communication and these face-to-face skills is all about, how am I going to work as a team? How do I work as a team? What can I do to bring my team together and really knit them together? It's also all about collaboration, not just your team or your organization, but working with other organizations, working with other groups so that you're actually collaborating to get the outcome that you want. In communication is also that building and maintaining relationships. This is the human aspect, those face-to-face skills. Now, written is also important in here as a way of communicating. However, what's important, as well as developing that, is that you focus on that truly human aspect of that face-to-face communication with another human being. Okay. Number 14, we're kind of whizzing through these, aren't we? Number 14, anticipation. This is kind of like a bit of a higher level or a different perspective of deep curiosity. Anticipation is about you looking towards the future and looking to see, this is how I can join these dots together. This is how all of this actually makes sense, so that you can learn to see what might be coming. You can anticipate, perhaps this is going to come, and let's look at how we can build some resilience. Let's look at how we can actually pivot and respond to that. What technology do we need to have to be able to do that? Yeah. So that's a really important one. The final one, number 15, is leadership intelligence. Now, this is something that, as you know, is really, really, really important from my perspective. This is the focus of much of the coaching that I do with my executives, business managers, business owners, whoever I'm working with. It's all about this leadership intelligence, which is a combination of emotional intelligence, leadership, and communication. And it's all of these things so that you can be the best that you can be and focusing on growth. Now, I cover off on these things and many more in an 8-week leadership and communication accelerator that I offer. And this accelerator covers a lot of those foundational skills around your understanding about leadership and communication, and it builds those strong foundations for you. I've got one of those starting soon, so please reach out if you would like more information about it, because the feedback that I get from those who have done it is that it is an absolute game changer for them, not only in their working life, but in their personal life as well. Thank you so much for watching. If you've got any questions or comments, please pop them in the platform that you're watching this on. If you're watching a replay, put #replay there. And if you would like more information about the kinds of skills that you need to develop to future-proof yourself, or the leadership and communication accelerator that I'm offering, please reach out. It would be my pleasure to provide you with more information or to answer your questions. See you next week. Bye now.